My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight.
Turki Alalshikh has just sent brutal warnings to Canelo and even threatened his next match after Canelo Alvarez disrespected him on live.
They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February.
Canelo recently proved to the Saudi boxing mogul how he wouldn't bulge to his demands, but would do things his own way, and it only got worse from there. Take it as a joke or the real deal, but powerful Saudi Arabian boxing broker Turki Alalshikh has said he is no longer interested in building a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, and has fired further warnings at Canelo Alvarez for being adamant.
Like Alalshikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here.
Alalshikh, the man who has served as the figurehead for the Riyadh season movement and is primarily responsible for injecting life into the boxing world, posted an informative update on social media on Tuesday morning.
Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And
he discussed his plans to continue producing boxing events in the United States and provided information on potential next steps for some of the top names he's already worked with over the past few years.
Look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
Most notably, he called out Canelo regarding a fight with Crawford. It's not something he wants anymore. Crawford has shared his desire to fight Canelo, calling it a legacy fight that could provide generational wealth. Alalshikh has publicly stated his intentions to make the fight happen. On Tuesday, Canelo was asked to give the payout amount he'd want to fight Crawford, and he told one reporter $150 million. It's unclear if that was a serious demand or posturing. It's also unclear if that response pushed Alalshikh to abandon making a Canelo-Crawford superhighway.
That's it. He said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari to play in Saudi Arabia. I said to him, we will send to you 2 gloves.
In any case, the fight appears dead as of now. Those of us who have been around the boxing world for a while know that death is a day-to-day concept, especially in fight negotiations. If both sides legitimately desire to fight, it can and will happen eventually. That said, Crawford and Canelo are still looking for options. Canelo will face Edgar Berlanga Jr. on September 14 in Las Vegas. The Mexican legend will face the UFC on that date, as the mixed martial arts promotion will deliver one of its biggest shows ever. Despite promoter interest, Canelo Alvarez has seemingly thrown cold water on the prospect of a mega fight with Terence Crawford. The Mexican boxing superstar emphasized his focus on his upcoming bout against Edgar Berlanga and expressed reservations about the Crawford matchup. Alvarez is set to face the young phenom Berlanga on September 14th. However, recent discussions surrounding a potential fight against Crawford, proposed by Turki Alalshikh, have created a media frenzy.
This position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way. No.
Speaking on the matter, Alvarez said, "I'm not asking for that fight. I think Teofimo Lopez deserves it more than me. My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they texted me to talk about the Crawford fight in February, and I said, I'm not going to talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this Edgar Berlanga fight. I respect Turkey, but if he wants to work with me, it needs to be my way."
Their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached?
Following Canelo Alvarez's comment, Turki Alalshikh has now stated that he is no longer interested in pursuing the fight between Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Alalshikh has decided to shift gears, announcing his disinterest in pursuing the bout. Instead, he will focus on building Crawford's profile in the US market and promoting other top fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis.
The way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey.
On the other hand, Saul Canelo Alvarez doesn't like to discuss future plans when he has a fight on his immediate schedule, and he emphasized how that point applies even when pressed by boxing's newest big power broker, Turki Alalshikh.
But look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
Alvarez said he was contacted by Alalshikh on Monday about the possibility of taking a February fight in Saudi Arabia against newly crowned junior middleweight and 4-division champion Terence Crawford.
You said you feel Crawford is easy. You felt that Crawford to you is easy money.
They called me yesterday, Alvarez told PPV.com in a Tuesday interview before his news conference with Sept 14 super middleweight opponent Edgar Berlanga at the Beverly Hills Hotel. They wanted to meet with me and see about the fight with Crawford in February. I said, look, I'm not interested in talking about another fight. After Sept 14 we can talk, but not right now. Alalshikh then announced on X late Monday night that, just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team, planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legendary Crawford. He added, I am focusing on Riyadh season card Wembley edition 21st of September, Anthony Joshua versus Dubois, and depending on the results of Riyadh season's opening card, Bivol versus Beterbiev, on the 12th of October, I will build the card for the rematch of Fury versus Usyk on the 21st of December, and another big card in the first quarter of 2025. Stay tuned.
I don't really care about it. Look, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it.
4-division and unified super middleweight champion Alvarez said he told his occasional promoter Eddie Hearn the same thing at the first stop of his and Berlanga's press tour in New York. Eddie Hearn asked me, hey, we want to talk about the Crawford fight in February. Turki Alalshikh wants to meet you in person in Los Angeles, Alvarez said. I said, look, I don't want to talk about the fight.
If it's possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday.
Few people obviously put Alalshikh on pause. His deep investment in boxing has moved many fighters to flock to Saudi Arabia or to accept purses they've never seen before to participate under his Riyadh season banner. The height of the Alalshikh ring kissing came Saturday night at the Los Angeles card, where Crawford edged Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision to capture the World Boxing Association 154-pound belt.
I'm 100% focused on this fight, and I can talk about other fights. Maybe that's why he talked about that.
Interrupting the card's flow, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame and promoters Hearn and Oscar de la Hoya attended a ring ceremony, granting Alalshikh a special induction into the hall despite the fact he has never staged a fight in the state. Meanwhile, Alvarez was bowing to no one. Maybe that's why they announced this, because I said, no, I don't want to talk about the fight, Alvarez said. I'm very focused on this Berlanga fight. Alalshikh previously sought to poke at Alvarez by saying he was investing in the production of the anticipated UFC card at the Las Vegas Sphere, also on September 14th.
Today, because I say I'm not ready to talk about other fights. And I don't really ask him for anything.
Alalshikh said the UFC card would eat Alvarez's show. I'm not here to disrespect anyone. I always fight on Mexican Independence Weekend, and I have my fans and my people, and they've never let me down, said Alvarez, who's coming off a unanimous decision victory over another young contender, Jaime Munguia, on Cinco de Mayo weekend in May. I just do my thing, Alvarez said. I just want to fight on those days.
My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they text me,
saying he still feels he's the world's no. One fighter, over Crawford, undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, undisputed junior featherweight champion Naoya Inoue, and others, Alvarez expressed confidence that the Mexico versus Puerto Rico angle of his bout with Berlanga stirs his countrymen to strongly support his card.
They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February with Crawford.
I'm gonna bring my best like I always do. And Mexico versus Puerto Rico motivates me even more, he said. It's amazing to represent my country against a territory that has so many amazing fighters too. Being Alvarez means a constant stream of challengers, including Crawford, clamoring to fight him. It's an honor that everyone wants to fight me, dreaming of having a fight against Canelo, he said.
Fight. I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any.
He chose Berlanga because the unbeaten Brooklyn fighter who opened his career with 16 consecutive first-round knockouts is an entertaining, active, younger challenger who will bring a great fight. Alvarez has never been sold on the idea that Crawford will do that, since he is so undersized that he would have every reason to follow an elusive fight plan. He's a good fighter. I know that, Alvarez said of Crawford.
I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
He thinks he can do everything, but I think he knows it's a little bit different at 154. Good fighter, but that's why there are weight classes. I like Terence Crawford and his style. It's just different. You can see that in that fight against Madrimov. It's just different.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was
It's not the way to approach.
As for the others, Alvarez floated the suggestion that it might be best to wait just a little longer to meet unbeaten former 168-pound title holder David Benavidez, as Benavidez pursues a date with whoever will be crowned the undisputed light heavyweight champion when unbeaten Russians Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev fight in Saudi Arabia on October 12th. People want to see that fight, they'll have to pay, Alvarez said. He's also interested in taking a fight in Japan, where one of the fighters he most admires, former featherweight champion Oscar Larios of Mexico, fought many times. I like to go fight by fight, but I definitely would like to have the experience to go fight in Japan, Alvarez said. I grew up watching Jorge Linares. He went to Japan a lot of times. I really want to go there and have that experience.
You know, yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first, and then.
As for Saudi Arabia, it remains to be seen if he'll ever go there. Canelo is highly dissatisfied with the Boxing Federation, including Alalshikh, for his approach towards him. According to reports, Alvarez might be looking to finally face David Benavidez in the near future, but the boxing star has asked a massive $200 million for his fight, and Alalshikh appears to be not in the mood to do it Alvarez's way. Turki Alalshikh has changed the dynamics of boxing in recent years and is the main reason why the sweet science is making strides in combat sports again.
I'm not asking for that fight. They want to make that fight because it's a.
However, despite this, Canelo Alvarez is not inclined to follow his path, and Alalshikh feels the same way. In his latest move, Alalshikh has stepped forward to issue a shutdown to Alvarez. While having a conversation with the media, Canelo Alvarez stated the reasoning behind asking $200 million for his fight against Benavidez. Obviously, he's a risk. He's a great fighter. Plus, he brings to the ring on fight night 25 pounds more than me. It's a risk, but I don't care. If the money's right, it can be tomorrow. Well, a $200 million fee would require a massive gate for the promoters to generate any revenue, and Turki Alalshikh knows it very well.
Want that fight? I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
Taking to his X handle to disregard Canelo Alvarez's demand. I heard Canelo say that he respects me, but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices, so of course anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. That's not all. Alalshikh even questioned Alvarez's capability as a fighter, as he stated that Canelo is looking for easy fights. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show-only fights.
Turki has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
Yeah, wait.
The situation of things must be disheartening to Terence Crawford, who had seen a fight against Canelo Alvarez as the biggest fight of his career, a fight that'll guarantee him his highest payday. Crawford was open to the prospect of a tantalizing showdown with the Mexican star, assuming a lucrative offer is put on the table. You know what they say? If the money's right, we've got to fight, he said ringside.
Israel just was a strong opponent. You know, we knew that coming in the gate.
Crawford continued, but at the same time, he's got a fight that he's focused on Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, enjoy this win and the accomplishments I've made in boxing. When pressed again about a fight with Canelo, Crawford added, "It's not so important to me. It's just another milestone towards greatness and financially wise." Madrimov proved to be a tough nut to crack on the night, and Crawford lauded the Uzbek's qualities after 12 gripping rounds of action. Israel is a tough competitor. I knew he was going to be tough, he said ringside after the victory. Terence Crawford said,
I just was trying to counter him, but at the same time, he had a good game plan. He had a lot of feints.
I knew all about him when I went to Uzbekistan, and they were telling me all about him. He's strong, he's durable, he took a lot of good shots, and he got me in round 12. I figured it out from the get-go about the game plan, but I was just patient and I didn't want to rush in with anything because that's how I got caught a couple of times by rushing in, trying to eat too soon. I did my thing.
A lot of times I was wrong. I was touching him up with the jab. I think my jab was beating him up.
The new champion continued. You can feel the difference moving up a weight because Israel is a strong opponent. He's only had 11 fights, but he's very strong. To fight a guy of his caliber in this fight says a lot about me and my team. Looking ahead to the future, His Excellency Turki Alalshikh revealed that an offer had been made to Alvarez for a bout with Crawford and that Virgil Ortiz Jr. is a standby option if an agreement cannot be reached.
That'll work. Yeah, you're in. So if the numbers were right with Crawford, you'll do it.
However, Crawford's team might have different ideas about the purse split. They argue that Crawford deserves similar money to Canelo Alvarez. It's a bold claim, considering Crawford's limited experience in mega fights. In a stunning development that set the boxing world abuzz, a dream matchup inches closer to reality. Turki Alalshikh, the mastermind behind Riyadh's season, dropped a bombshell about Canelo versus Crawford. The chairman of the General Entertainment Authority revealed he's made an offer to Canelo Alvarez. This potential mega fight could put two of boxing's brightest stars against each other. Alalshikh didn't mince words when discussing the proposal with DAZN. I gave Alvarez an offer. If he's smart, he'll accept it. If they accept, we want to see this fight, said Alalshikh via DAZN. But if he doesn't, I want Ortiz. If they accept, we want to see this fight.
The Sheikh said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford.
Both fighters are coming off recent victories. Canelo triumphed over Jaime Munguia, while Crawford edged out Israel Madrimov in a nail-biter. These wins only heightened the anticipation of the fight that now seems to be out of the way. Madrimov believed he showed enough in the ring to prove he was worthy of a rematch against Crawford. Speaking via an interpreter, the 29-year-old was happy with his performance across the 12 rounds and is eager to face the American again. Madrimov said, I fought the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world and I believe I did enough because I'm a champion. I was defending the belt.
He's one of the best in the world. He's not an easy fight. He knocked out the last 10 opponents he fought, Spence and others,
I was controlling the rhythm and felt very comfortable inside the ring. I felt I did very well. I felt that I at least deserved a rematch, and if His Excellency Turki Alalshikh can make it happen, then let's go. The Mexican defends his WBA, WBO, and WBC super middleweight titles. He was recently stripped of their title by the IBF against Berlanga at Las Vegas's T-Mobile Arena, at a time when there are increased demands for him to instead fight David Benavidez or Terence Crawford next. Those same demands were being made when Jaime Munguia was announced as his opponent for May. The all-Mexican fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend regardless proved a popular alternative, but Berlanga is a less respected opponent than was Munguia, contributing to observers of boxing and of Alvarez's career being less than impressed.
I'm very happy to be here in this position, Mexico versus Puerto Rico.
In 2015, when he was under growing pressure to fight Gennady Golovkin, Alvarez outpointed Miguel Cotto, a Puerto Rican great. Cotto's rivalry with Antonio Margarito is the most memorable between a Mexican and a Puerto Rican in the modern era. But for all that, the 27-year-old Berlanga has proved entertaining. He is a considerably less proven fighter, which was something Alvarez did little to contest. This fight is a good fight for the people, he responded when asked why it won't be Benavidez or Crawford in the opposite corner on September 14th. Mexico versus Puerto Rico is always a good fight. It's a good fight for the people.
Young fighter. And I'm gonna put all my best in the training, all my best in the fight to put it a great fight. And I'm just happy. I love boxing.
I never overlook my opponents. I know Edgar Berlanga. He's shown he's strong, but at the end of the day, he has a big challenge in front of him. It's gonna be a great fight. He's gonna show something different, and the people are gonna enjoy this fight. I don't expect anything else. He's gonna bring everything, and me too. I'm gonna enjoy it a lot. It means a lot because the rival is history. It's history. We have great fights, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, and I think this is going to be another one. That's why we have this fight, right? I'm gonna do my best as always.
I love what I do, and I'm happy to be here and other one.
It's gonna be a really good night for boxing, I guarantee that. Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga have had it fierce and brutal in the build-up to their fight, and only September 14th would reveal the most brutal of the pair. Edgar Berlanga has proven to his supporters and then the entire boxing world how much this first title shot means to him and how he's determined to dethrone the Mexican champion. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.